Long awaited Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 3 spoilers are finally here. But before we get into the video today, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe button, hit the Discord link in the bio. But anyway, let's get into the good stuff. Now we start off with the cover page, and the title of today's chapter is Uzuhiko, which again corresponds with Boruto's ability, his Rasengan rotational ability that we're going to get into a little bit later and dive into detail a little bit later. We need to get into the juicy stuff, like the cover page doesn't really matter. The chapter begins where it ended last month. Boruto is approaching Code with this new technique. Code decides to take action by restricting Boruto's movement. Code then says if it doesn't hit you, it's meaningless. And then we see Boruto walking towards him with Uzuhiko essentially activated, and we see Boruto and Code start fighting. Code tries to walk up to Boruto using his fast teleportation belt, and he tries to land an attack that actually ends up being blocked by Boruto. And this just kind of symbolizes how much stronger Boruto has become since 3 years ago, where he didn't even have enough confidence to take down Code. Now not only does he have the confidence to take down Code, he can actually beat him up while not even using his karma prowess, his Jogun. All he's doing is using one ability, which is very interesting. So then we started getting into the details of the technique. Somehow Boruto's new technique is wrapping around Code. The same wind rotation circles can now be seen on Code's left arm. Then Boruto says, I told you, it's easy and simple to kill you. And we see Code throw another punch. Code just literally can't do anything this chapter. Like, Boruto is making this dude look like his son. Then we go on to the next spoiler where Boruto basically gives Code his final warning. Boruto says, I'm gonna tell you one more time, Code. This is your last warning. If you can't lead me to the 10 tails, then you'll die here. Code then says, don't make me laugh. Boruto, if you can do it, then do it. Then we see Code try to attack Boruto, and he just like effortlessly dodges. Then we go on to the next spoilers where it says Code approaches Boruto with intent to kill, but somehow misses Boruto and ends up behind him. He goes for the attack again and misses. Even Code is baffled as to what is going on. He thinks Boruto is simply dodging, but how? So basically what we see here is Code throw a series of attacks, and Boruto is just able to quote unquote dodge him. But either one thing is happening, is he's teleporting, or he's moving so fast, similar to body flicker, that it just seems as if he is teleportating. It isn't actually doing it. But whatever this Rasengan Uzuhiko is, this is crazy. Like, I've never seen an ability like this. Then we move on to the next pages, and it says Boruto hits Code with this new technique, Rasengan Uzuhiko, and we see Code like lifted up in the air, and it seems like it's kind of like a rotation. Basically this chapter is just Boruto bodying Code really badly. They go into the next page, and we see Boruto's new technique is rotation of the star. Chakra equivalent to the rotation of a star was embedded into Code via this attack, which is very interesting. It seems as if Boruto is using the natural environment around him to create this ability, which is going to be very interesting to see the details of as it comes out later on. Then Kawaki enters the scene, and Code tries to escape, but Kawaki uses the dojutsu to cancel his escape plan. Code then brings out his 10 tails creature and escapes. Then we see like a bunch of other things. We see Kawaki basically try to land a hit on Boruto. He's effortlessly able to dodge. We also see that Code just has no chance against Boruto. He stands no chance at this current moment. It makes sense that he's trying to escape. We move on, and we see as Code has escaped, Shikamaru advises everyone to focus on the rest of the army. However, Kawaki wants to confront Boruto after 3 years. Despite Kawaki's bad mouth, Boruto still says, I'm glad to see you're doing well. Then we move on. Boruto has implanted a toad on Code and is actively communicating with the toad to figure out if the 10 tails has been spotted. Meanwhile, it also looks like Bug has been packed up by the 10 tails. But the main important thing is a toad. Boruto is using a toad to gain information on Code. Who usually uses toads? Kashin Koji, Jiraiya. Either two things happen. Boruto somehow got to Mount Miyaboku, learn Sage Mode, learn how to utilize the nature energy around him to the utmost capability that then increased his abilities. Or two, he's been training with Kashin Koji. And really you can say 1 and 2 coincide, because I mean he could train with Kashin Koji and also go to Mount Miyaboku. To me, it symbolizes that he's been training with somebody that has these abilities, because like we see in part 1 with Naruto and Jiraiya, Jiraiya has to give Naruto the contract sign, the contract sealing, so he can even even start to summon the toad. So he has to be around somebody that is from that environment, and that can either be Kashin Koji, or he could have found his way to Mount Miyaboku from Fukusaku, you know, whoever, right? The fact that he's like using toads does kind of signify that during this 3-year time skip, he was in fact training with somebody other than Sasuke. So the Sasuke death rumors are literally finna be going crazy. So this chapter was amazing. Like, all in all, Boruto just destroyed Code, and we got to see details about certain abilities that he's gained over this 3-year time skip that kind of gives us a little bit of information about what may have transpired during that time period. Right now, the story is looking pretty well, and the main thing that needs to be talked about here is Boruto's Rasengan Uzuhiko ability. It seems like this is like some planetary ability. So hypothetically, if a person experienced Earth's rotation, they would undergo significant physical challenges. The Earth rotates at a speed of about 1,670 kilometers per hour at the equator. If a person were to rotate at this speed, they would face intense forces due to the rapid spinning motion. The person would experience strong forces push outward, making it difficult to maintain a stable structure. This force would be the strongest at the extremities, causing a sensation of being pulled outward. Additionally, the rapid rotation would result in a drastic change in gravitational forces across the body. The gravitational force is weaker at the equator due to the force counteracting it. This could lead to a sensation of lighter weight, especially at the feet, and increased pressure. The Coriolis effect caused by the Earth's rotation would also influence the person's perception of motion. Objects in motion would appear to curve, and the person might feel a constant pull to one side. Certain rhythms disrupting sleep patterns and potentially impacting overall health. In the spoilers, Boruto is somewhat using the planet as a basis or a foundation for his powers, and if that's the case, you look at certain things which corresponds with like how the Earth rotates, and it definitely makes sense as to why Code is just getting demolished by Boruto. Code can't keep up with Boruto because Code is within this ability that doesn't allow him to even keep up with them. Boruto is moving at such a speed with this Rasengan Uzuhiko that it seems as if he's teleporting. It seems as if he's just with this Rasengan stuff. It's very cool, and I like how it ties into like the planet and the natural environment. Y'all need to tell me in the comments, like, do y'all think Boruto is planetary now? Like, since he's able to use the planet's power to fuel his own ability, does that actually make him Planet Buster now? Just like hypothetically, that would be pretty cool. But all in all, this chapter was pretty great. I'm expecting some big things from Boruto, especially in chapter 4. This chapter just showed Boruto's crazy ability. We kind of got everything that we were hoping for in this chapter. We got more of Boruto's abilities. We got a little bit more insight about, you know, what Code is trying to do. This is kind of going to give us a little bit of foreshadowing about what happened during that 3-year time gap and what's potentially going to happen in the future. But amen, say man, that's going to be the end of today's video. I'm gonna be coming back with a whole nother video later today or tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned for that, man. It's the Big Jew, aka Juju Senpai, man, and I'm gonna be out with it, you heard me? Wow.